you have ambition to be great. My job is to coach you to get all that greatness out of
you. What's good, Fit Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. I want to thank everyone for the last show. In case you guys didn't know, the last show, we were done it by just after 9 o'clock or something like that, and I believe it was Thursday night, and at about 12:45 a.m., I got a notification that it had been locked privately by YouTube, I guess for something to do with the spam, scams, and deceptive practices policy. But it was actually a bug that a lot of live streamers were getting hit with that day. And that video was down from 12:45 a.m. till almost like 7 p.m. the next day. When it was taken down, it was almost at 4,000 views. It's at 3.6 thousand views, and it's up over 6. I just want to thank everyone for still coming out and watching it, even though I know a lot of y'all like to watch me the next morning. Some of you probably forgot about it, all that jazz. Went over to his orange jersey and had a pretty decent opening rant. That's why I was like shocked that try to say something positive for the community, and bam, some of the other powers are at work. So I just actually wanted to thank everyone, because I was actually quite worried that not a lot of people are going to see that, but decent showing. Obviously not as decent as it has been lately for us. We've been crushing 8,000-10,000 views. I want to thank everyone for coming out and supporting the channel, taking the time to just watch. We just passed 7,900, so everyone keep hitting that like button, keep hitting that subscribe button. Let's get to 8K, let's get to 10K before the season starts. I hope everyone has had a fantastic weekend. If you're Canadian, it's May 2-4. It's a long weekend, so we're out here chilling. We all got tomorrow off. I know a couple people hit me up yesterday. I know Logan hit me up, EM hit me up, a couple other people hit me up to go live yesterday, and I had some, I had some stuff going on. Had a chill night with the wife, and so tonight I was like, you know what, let's go live. I got a couple things I want to go over, including Mike Gesicki. He was recently on the, I believe is Adam Breneman podcast with Nick Scott. So I want to go over that. He said a lot of interesting things. It's like an hour interview, but I clipped it up into like the most interesting parts into like 11 minutes because I love all y'all. So I made it easy on the eyes, easy viewing experience. So we'll go over that. Also, interesting article from Marcel Louis Jacques, what came out a couple days ago about the different vibe under Mike McDaniel. So we'll go ahead, we'll give that a look. Also, interesting articles from the Miami Herald and also the Palm Beach Post, really focused. One's Michael Dieter focused, the other one's more focused on the scheme and the running backs, but it gives you the sense that is this running game in 2022 bound to explode like a barrel of C4. The more you hear players talk about it, you more hear the buy-in about it. We see the piece. It's just all about staying healthy. With anything here, it's going to be all about staying healthy. But I'm telling you, if we can get healthy, healthy weapons in the if Mostert, Edmonds, and Michelle stay healthy, if Terron Armstead stays healthy all year, man, it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be fun to watch, man, and it could be explosive. Also, another interesting article out about Noah Igbinoghene, and just basically how he kind of gets a second chance here. And then an interesting article that's going to lend that I want to read to you guys, but it's also going to pose a question to you guys. Who do we think is going to make the most impact from the UDFA class? This article gives 3 names, and I'm going to ask every one of you guys to give us 3 names of 3 people from this draft class or UDFA class, that you think can have an actual impact in the first season. So quite a bit to go over. Like I said, I hope everyone is having a fantastic weekend. It's absolutely beautiful weather up here. We're just living the life. Hope everyone out down there is, Dolphin. I'm not cheering for Iggy. I just got a bet. Shout out to FanDuel today. And shout out to South Florida sports, baby. Shout out to South Florida sports. I took a 3-game parlay yesterday. I took the Heat. I think it was +6 over the Celtics. I think I took what was it? I took Colorado at a goal and a half. And then, sorry, South Florida fans, I took the Tampa Bay Lightning at a goal and a half today too. And, turned $25 into $350 on a Sunday. Nice day for reason. Got a couple other things going on in terms of couple other tickets tonight, putting some money back in, trying to make some more money. To playing some stupid tickets too to make some money, you know what I mean? So, hey, South Florida sports, you giveth and you taketh. And you gave it to me this weekend. But yeah, I took the Avalanche at -1.5. I took the Lightning at -1.5, and I took the Heat at +6, and boom, plus 1,366 odds at $25 equals $366.55, baby. Let's go. Good ticket today. So hopefully the Mavericks game can be as fruitful for your boy, man. Hopefully. I'm not a hater of Iggy. I just got $300 on the fact that I think he's gonna bust out. And the reason why I think he's gonna, me and Ball Gang got that bet going. The reason why I think he's gonna bust out is just because, there's just identifiers I look for. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I can't be in every room with him, and obviously I can't be on the practice field with him. But I'm telling you, when you see issues and special teams don't want to give him reps, that makes you pause. I'm telling you right now. So hey, listen. I hope I have to pay Ball Game money because that's better. I want us to hit on our picks. I will pay for us to hit on our picks, basically. I'm cool with that. Okay, because I'm about the success of the team first. I'm not about personal gain first. I'm not trying to sit here and make a bunch of money off of players not making it, especially Dolphin players, because that's counterproductive to my fanhood of the team. But it's just what I thought was happening, and it's what's happening so far. So, listen, Iggy, he's got a rare second chance. Not many people get this opportunity that he's got this year. All right, and the staff kept him around. They're giving him the shot. I mean, you got to make the most of it, man. I don't know what else to say to him. Let's put it this way: if he doesn't get through this regime, we thought he had no value before. If he doesn't pop off now, he's got the value of a water boy. If he doesn't work out this year, let's be honest with ourselves. So, especially here's the fact: the Dolphins have already shown their hand. The Dolphins already tried to trade Byron Jones. The deal for J.C. Jackson, that whole scenario was real. That's why Byron had that cleanup, that scope cleanup in his knee to basically guarantee his money. All right, so they've already shown their hand. Byron's out the door next year, so we need Noah to hit. Otherwise, we're going to be drafting someone else next year. Maybe my boy Keely Ringo in the first round out of Georgia. I don't know, but we'll be drafting someone next year. So we need this to hit. You know what I mean? So, because that's, again, another draft pick we wouldn't have to allocate. But it's looking pretty much like we're going to have to allocate that pick next year to potentially Byron Jones's replacement, which, I mean, it is what it is. The fact that Trill Williams was a UDFA, then bounced around and came to us because he failed the physical, and he's produced more, and that's the other thing. Well, here's the thing. The track record of the staff, too, that we have in place, I mean, a lot of the guys here helped develop Nick Needham. Nick Needham was a UDFA. So it ain't about draft status here. It's just about, it's about translation to the field. I mean, I've told you guys, I've heard since the last offseason. I've been saying this since I heard it last offseason that, he studies film well. He puts in the work. It's just not translating to the field. So that's why I say to myself, hey, maybe the light goes on. maybe the light goes on. That's what you got to hope for. Jason, to be honest with you, I think if Tua hits this year, when Tua hits this year, I should say, when Tua hits, I think honestly, cornerback is probably going to be one of the top priorities in the draft next year. Yes, like we got 2 first-round picks. Go give me Keely Ringo and go give me Bijan Robinson. Go give me a star stud running back, with that second pick we have in the first, and go give me the best corner in the class. And let's ball. Right? Spend whatever little money you got. Go get me a center in free agency. And let's go. Let's roll. We got 5 picks in the first 3 rounds. Because I think Bijan Robinson is going to go fairly high in the first. Fairly high. And if anyone hasn't watched this kid yet, go watch him out of Texas. Man, I think if this kid has the year he could have, I think you're going to see the first running back sniffing top 10 talk since Saquon. So, Nick Needham is the man, Barney. I ain't worried about him being fine. I'm worried about Noah Igbinoghene being fine. My whole point with Nick Needham was that's a UDFA who put in the work, translated, got better, and look at the results we've got. He can lock down on the boundary. He can play in the slot, et cetera, et cetera. Noah, 30th overall pick, which we can all agree was a reach to begin with, and it's just not translating to the field. So draft status don't matter. This coaching staff has shown they can take guys as UDFAs and turn them into something. So draft status shouldn't matter with Iggy. That's my whole issue. I ain't worried about Needham. Needham's that dude. You know what I mean? I ain't worried about Nick Needham. Needham's that guy. Big fan of Nick Needham. So honestly, man, we need these picks to hit for flexibility down the line. That's what this all comes down to. It's deeper than just wanting, oh, I love this player, I need them to hit. No, we need them to hit. So that's one less hole we need to worry about. Just like we need either Eichenberg or I'm quietly hearing they're kind of high on Eichenberg at guard, which worries the hell out of me. But we need these guys to hit so we don't have to allocate more resources to these positions. Period. That's it. That's all there is to it. So Bijan is what we all think and San Francisco gives us the top 10 pick, which I think. Do you take Bijan? No, I take Kylie Ringo with the top 10 pick, and then I try to get Bijan with the other pick. The top 10 pick, I try to go get Keely Ringo. I try and go get that cornerback out of Georgia. That's where I'd be at. And then I'd turn around with that next pick, and that next pick I'd go get Bijan Robinson. So, and move up with it. You know what I mean? Like, show aggressiveness. Show that aggressiveness we haven't shown in the last couple of years when we've had all these picks. So, I don't know, man. Personally, where I'm at right now, man, this is going to be some exciting stuff this year. Holy, I can't wait. I am so. What about the center position? David already said that. Spend some of that money that we're going to have at free agency. I want a veteran center. I don't want a rookie center. I'm good. I want a veteran center. The last 2 off seasons, I banged the table for 2 different guys. Corey Linsley, which we should have signed, but instead went to San Diego, and look at the upgrade that was to their offensive line. And of course, this year, my target, thank you, Tom Brady, that my Tampa Bay target didn't even hit the free agency. We didn't even get a crack at Ryan Jensen. If we would have got Ryan Jensen, oh my God. Shane, I'm going to play the clip for you. We're going to talk about it. Don't worry, my friend. Got it all queued up for you. That's going to be the first thing we get into, is it? And we'll get into it right now, actually. Let's get into, guys, first of all, smash that like button, subscribe if you are new. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Finside. Also, become a Finside the NFL Patreon, patreon.com/Finside the NFL. Helps keep the operation rolling. And save 15% off at Pick Six Apparel by using code FINSIDETHE at pick6apparel.co.uk. I saw someone earlier asking, hey, Reason, when's the rebrand coming? Sooner than you guys think. I'm not announcing what the show is yet, but that whole huge show I've been telling you I'm putting together, it looks like it might be going down this Wednesday. I'm just looking to confirm. But oh boy, Wednesday's show is lining up. I've got the parties involved to agree, and everything is at, and now it's just we're hammering the date out. And it looks like initially it's going to be Wednesday. So y'all are going to have this show on while you have the Heat game on in the background. Trust me. All right. I ain't going to announce what's happening yet, but y'all are going to want to tune in for this. This is the one that the community needs and Reason's delivering it. All right. So I'm just figuring out the day. And when I lock in the day and I lock in the time, y'all will hear about it ASAP. But I'm probably going to launch my rebrand the day of that show. That's what it's looking like. So be prepared. Y'all don't even know what I have up right now. So y'all are going to like this one. Y'all are going to like this one. All right, man, I'm hyped for it. Just thinking about it. Enough of that, though. Let's get into, so initially planned, circle your calendars for the Heat game and put Reason show with a question mark, because that's what the initial thing is. I'm just getting final confirmation about all the parties I needed to be a part of this have all agreed. And now we're just finalizing the date. And the initial date is this Wednesday. That's all I'm going to say. We coming, baby. Let's go. So let's get into this. Again, Mike Gesicki, he was on the Adam Breneman show with Nick Scott as well. Who, as y'all know, plays for the Rams. DB for the Rams. So Adam Breneman. Adam Breneman. He's on the Adam Breneman show. There you go. All right. So let's get into this, because there's a lot of good things that Gesicki says here. And I'm about to clown people too with what Gesicki says. Listen to this. Unblock me, Mike. I love you.
Do you guys ever run the ball when you're in?
Yeah, but like I mean, now we have a whole new like scheme and everything. But like in the past, we would run the ball out of our 12 personnel with me and Durham. But then I would just take the receiver role and I would go block the safety.
Man, they might ask you to block this year with that scheme.
Yeah,
They gonna try.
Yeah,
49ers, all they do is run.
Who calls it? Is it McDaniel?
I mean, we have an OC head coach. I mean, there's a whole, everybody's kind of
part of it.
Yeah.
How was the franchise tag process? What's that like? What happens when that? I'm generally curious. Like what?
Okay, so there you go. They asked him if he blocked. He's kind of vague about it. He said, yeah, block, but they turned me into a receiver role. And we're going to talk about the franchise tag here, because he says some key things about the money, the receiver tag. Listen in here. We'll talk about it.
What actually happens? Like you're on the contract year. Like how's that process go to getting tagged?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of just like a waiting game. Like, when the tag deadline is, and that it's a possibility, but you don't know what's going to happen. And I was on my honeymoon in Bora Bora, and the tag deadline was the next day, and was still up in the air. Didn't know if I was gonna be able to hit free agency, if they were gonna tag me. And then I got like a text at like 3:30 a.m. like Bora Bora time, because it was 6 hours behind. So it was really like 9:30 a.m. Eastern time or whatever, from my agent, and he was like, "Hey, like they're tagging you." And like I like rolled over in the middle of the night and like looked at my phone, tapped out. I was like, "Hey, like we're staying in Miami for another year."
Dude, that picture you posted in Bora Bora, signing that was the biggest flex I've ever.
Listen,
I mean, you see that?
I did see that.
It was honestly just the situation I was in. Like, they tagged me while I was on my honeymoon, and I'm sitting on my back deck. I'm like, all right, well,
dude, he lives a lot.
I gotta sign this paper. So
what did I say to you when I reached out to you after that?
Probably straps.
No, but we can get to that later.
Yeah,
we can get to that later. Said, congratulations on being financially free. You called me a sick man.
You are.
I'm trying to. That's my boy. Congrats, man. Like, you did it. You're sick.
Yeah, you are.
Mike doesn't know what financially free means.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I was just looking at the thing and saw the number. I was like, all right. Like
that is like a different like level.
Here we
of
go.
like it's one thing to like make a couple million a year. When you're making like 10 million 1 year,
It's crazy.
that's like a whole nother level of money.
we'll call it 11.
11.
wants to round
Wait,
up.
but should it be 16 or 18?
Here we go.
If you're referring to the wide receiver franchise tag, that would have been 18.5. But here we are.
You're not a receiver.
That's why they got your hand in the dirt trying to save it.
I mean,
Pay him like that.
that was all. It doesn't matter what I do this year. Honestly, it was all based upon what position I lined up the most in the year before your contract. So
Oh, really?
like technically speaking, by like the lay of the law, like it was receiver. But like,
Should we fight it?
I'm not a big controversy guy. You know.
So there you go. They asked him straight up, "You gonna fight it?" He said, "I'm not a big controversy guy." So hopefully Gesicki doesn't fight it because he's still got a window to fight it if he wants to.
Kind of go with
You're
the flow.
treading lightly right now with what you're saying.
Smart guy.
Yeah, he's smart.
PR guy.
But no, I feel like every time a tight end gets tagged, that's always a discussion. Like Jimmy Graham, it happened. Like
Yeah,
they're
I mean-
always like trying to fight for the wide receiver
Well,
tag.
Jimmy, when he got tagged, I don't know why I'm saying it. Like I know him on first.
And I want you to guys listen how quickly he rifled off when he's talking about the number. Oh, you're talking about the receiver number. Now listen how quickly he's going to rifle off the Jimmy Graham stuff. That tells you right there they've discussed this. They've discussed this in depth about going for the receiver tag. Watch.
Same basis. When Jimmy Graham got tagged, he fought it, and they essentially settled because then they gave him an extension like that during that process. So like technically, did he lose the grievance? Yes, but then they settled and gave him like the number he wanted regardless. So it was like he won.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So I mean, right there, he said, he got the extension, he got the number he wanted, he won. That tells you, him and his agent have looked through the past instances where guys have lined up so many snaps that a receiver had a justifiable case to be a receiver, and they looked into the past instances. That's what that tells you. So I don't think he's going to file a grievance. I don't think so, but that tells you they've done their research and they were, not contemplating it, but at least looking into it, right?
Did you see the Twitter thing with Tua?
And here we go. They're going to get into the Twitter underthrow. I'm about to clown everyone, so let's get into this.
And that all the people talking about the throw he made on Twitter a couple days ago.
Underthrow.
Did you see that?
I mean,
Dude, the fans and media are so crazy. It was like, wow, the slight.
I didn't even notice. Like when I seen it, I didn't even notice. And then I was looking at the comments, or I saw the thing trending. I think I showed it yesterday. I was like, what are people like?
bro,
Why can't they
people-
just let this go? Like,
in all honesty, like, if you're running the Dolphins social media, like, post it better.
A better
clip.
throw
It was the
for
first
sure.
one, the first throw they posted of Tua.
bro, fans are ruthless, bro.
Yeah, people are just so bored, and they're just like you.
Like he underthrew.
You could say anything about anything, and people are gonna just hype it up.
Media's trying to get retweets. I was out there tweeting.
I'm
So I want you to listen to this. Nick Scott, okay, who's a DB, basically said, I didn't even notice this an underthrow until I started reading the comments. Mike Gesicki out here is like, people are so bored and basically have nothing more to do with their life than to break down whether you underthrow a guy or overthrow a guy. Do you realize they're mocking you people? All you people who thought you were moving heaven and earth and, oh, I gotcha. They are sitting here and literally calling you guys, without calling you guys, losers. That's what they're like. Listen to what he just said. He said these people are so bored and have nothing better to do with their life. Like, let's even rewind. They're literally calling you guys losers. They're literally saying you guys are losers. Think about this for a sec.
Running the Dolphins social media, like, post it better.
A better throw
It was
for
the first
sure.
one,
What?
the first throw they posted of Tua.
Bro, fans are ruthless, bro.
yeah. People are just so bored, and they're just like you.
Like he underthrew.
You could say anything about anything, and people are gonna just hype it up.
Media's trying to get retweets. I was out there tweeting.
I'm sure you were.
But like, look at what he's saying. These people you're so bored. You have basically he's saying you guys have no life. And the people who I look at, the ones that have no lives, are losers. So by association, he's basically saying if you are bored and have no life, you're a loser. Like NFL, the guys who play the sport. First of all, a DB here who said he didn't even notice it's an underthrow until he started reading the comments. And then a guy who plays with them are like, these people have no life. The actual athletes that play the sport are telling you people to get a life. That's basically what they're saying. They're literally basically saying, get a life. Overanalyzing that. Like, that's what's absolutely hilarious about this. Professional athletes are out here calling you guys out for even talking about the underthrow. Literally, that's what they're doing. They're mocking you people. They're pointing at you. All right? Like, think about that. And I'll bring it back so we can even hear what Nick says about it again. But, I mean, think about this for a sec. They're literally mocking you people.
Gave him, like, the number he wanted regardless. So it was like, he won.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Did you see the Twitter thing with Tua and that all the people talking about the throw he made on Twitter a couple days ago?
The underthrow.
I mean,
dude, the fans and media are so great. It was like, wow, the slight.
I didn't even notice. Like when I seen it, I didn't even notice.
This is a DB,
and then I
a defensive
was looking
back.
at the comments, or I saw the thing trending. I think I showed it yesterday. I was like, what are people like?
Like
Bro,
that
why can't they just let
But
it go? Like,
in all honesty, like if you're running the Dolphins social media, like post.
That's a guy who would actually have to play the underthrow, telling you y'all are ridiculous. Who's also not a teammate with Tua. He's not a teammate with Tua. That's a guy who would actually have to be out there and play the underthrow, telling y'all you're ridiculous.
It was the first one, the first throw they posted of Tua.
bro, fans are ruthless, bro.
yeah, people are just so bored and they're just like you.
Like he underthrew.
You could say anything about anything and people are gonna just hype it up.
Media's trying to get retweets. I was out there tweeting.
I'm sure you were. I'm very, very hesitant to hang out with you these days.
Dude.
I'm kidding, bro. Relax. No, but I love playing with Tua, and like I say this behind closed doors. I say it on Breneman Shows Up. I'll say it on friggin' ESPN. I don't care. They would never have me on ESPN, but like I think Tua's great. I think he has a really strong arm, and
What's that, Mike? What's that, Michael? Excuse me? A man who catches footballs from him is saying he has a really strong arm? Oh, but hold on a second here. Guys who don't know how to break film on Twitter and YouTube are telling me he has a weak arm, bro. Come on. What do you mean? What do you mean? And you love playing with him? Come on. All these people on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook are telling me, you know, no one likes playing with them. And then all these people are saying they're wasting their career. No way. Really? How surprising.
I think he's extremely accurate, and that's like he can put it wherever he wants. And I mean, I think I've only gotten like a better connection with him as our 2 years have progressed. So I'm fired up to.
I'm excited to see your guys' offense. It's gonna be tough.
The only thing I was worried about was when we first drafted him was I was like, damn, like, I've never caught from a lefty before. I think I caught like 2 balls from like Billy Fest.
Is there a difference?
Like outside of that, like I've never caught from a lefty before.
Listen to that.
So the first day that like I caught from him,
this is very interesting.
Like he throws a super tight spiral, so like literally
it doesn't matter.
You can't even tell which way it's spinning. You just go catch it. So, but I did flip the jugs machine around because you can flip it, and, like how it spins. Exactly. Yeah.
But then.
That's really curious. So that answers the question for a lot of you because of its spiral, how tight it is. It's really just like catching it from a righty. And the interesting thing too is Gesicki was so worried he even turned the jugs machine around. That's a really cool tidbit I picked up from this interview, and that shows the work that Gesicki put in to try and make it work with Tua. But I mean, that's fantastic stuff, honestly, man.
We would rotate quarterbacks in college.
Yeah,
so you had like one drive it's running, one drive it's lefty. I called everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Have you met Chase Edmonds yet?
Yeah, Chase is awesome. Yeah, he's cool. He's a good dude. Like cool personality, good guy to have in the locker room, and really good player on the field too. So fired up.
I agree, Chris. It does sound like Gesicki wants to be there.
We got.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Dolphins look like y'all might be able to do something this year.
And again, that's from Nick Scott, a DB on the Rams that just won the Super Bowl. a non-biased spot, just throwing it in there. It looks like y'all gonna do something this year. Check your pulse, baby. This is confirmation that players on other teams, on other defenses are looking at it like, oh, damn, this team putting it together. They going to do something. That's a DB looking at our offense, and he scratched the neck like, damn, y'all put it together. Yeah, y'all going to do something this year. Man, check your pulse. If that don't get you hype, I don't know what will.
Yeah, we had a good offseason. But, I mean, it's May. Like, everybody's optimistic and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So
take notice.
you gotta
Don't
wait
put
till the
stock
season
in
starts.
You're going to get the big deal after next season if you play well?
If I earn it, that's it. I don't have any controversy for you. I don't have any.
I'm not looking for controversy.
Big takes. I mean, that's what it is in this league. Like if you play well and you make plays and you show that they need you, then you'll get money. Yeah. So
you need to stop jumping.
Absolutely.
540 in the room.
Listen, I don't know what it is.
You better stop jumping.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is because like
listen to this.
Now that like we're doing a whole bunch.
We literally played you guys and like. Our scouting report on you, like at the bottom was like, he's a jumper. So like with your tackling approach, like we got, he's a jumper. Like
Bro,
he has bad intentions, like trying to run you over. You're a jumper. It's crazy.
Like now that
but it never goes well for
never,
you.
Ever. I think it's gone well literally one time in my life. But like now that we're doing this like San Fran stuff, like we see a lot of like George Kittle stuff and like him run after the catch, he's probably legitimately like the best in the league, like in any position. Like,
nah.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Nope.
Okay. Like that dude's either
Debo.
That dude's gonna run by you or run through you, and like it's ridiculous.
Maybe the best tight end.
And I think Cooper Kupp is the best person after the catch.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you're a defensive guy, and like so. I mean, I respect your opinion.
I appreciate that.
But we're putting Kittle up there.
Oh, he's definitely up there. My top
Tyreek,
three would be honestly. I got Cooper Kupp at the top, Deebo Samuel right under Cooper Kupp, and it's very close. And I got George Kittle kind of like.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at here is
the Tyreek
when
Hill
he runs with the ball, like nobody's diving at his legs. When I run with the ball, I feel like everybody's low, like coming at me low.
But you run so high.
I literally just like get tabletop. Like we played on Monday Night Football, and like I caught like a shallow, and like I saw the dude literally just looking at my feet, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna hop him. Literally just did like a front flip, like landed on my back. And I'm like, bro, let's just end this game. Yeah.
I remember that play.
Run after the catch is it, dude. Like you can work on all you want. I feel like it's just like a feel. It's just a feel thing. Like, like I remember when we were in college, Saquon was like, he's like, I'm gonna work with you on this, and this. Like, bro, like me and you can go out on the field, but I can't run like you. And I can't change directions like you. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a feel.
Yeah.
What do you think's been for both of you guys like one of the toughest times of your NFL career so far?
This is really interesting.
Like just a time I always like to talk about. We just talked about
him and Hunter Long's
stuff a little bit, but like
it's probably my rookie year. Just because like I always say that like the NFL is about like the situation you're in and the opportunity that like you're presented with. Like that's all it is. So like everybody in the league can. I would say for the most part can go out and make plays and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's all about the situation you're in and like the system that you're in and then the opportunity. Because like you don't know how many opportunities you're going to get. So like you better be ready when that opportunity comes. And in my first year, I didn't make a single play. For 16 games, I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then for the first 4 games of my second year, I still hadn't done anything. And I'm like when is it going to switch?
Your second round pick.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And like, I mean, you don't know how long like a team's going to invest in you for. So like you better start making plays. And then finally in a 2-minute drill, we were playing Washington at home in 2019, and I was running like a seam, and Fitz just threw like a back shoulder, and I just went back and grabbed it. And like it was like at that point, it was like then it just started snowball effect. It was just one week turned into 2 good weeks, turned into like my first 100-yard game. It was like it just kept going. And you just gotta just keep making the most of your opportunities when they come.
Yeah, for sure.
Is the draft interesting? Like because you don't know if they're gonna draft someone at your position. Like is that ever like weird to like watch or see? Like you're just do you know going in the draft that they're gonna take a safety if they're gonna take a tight end?
Oh no, I mean not unless you're like a franchise guy. I guess that they kind of
to communicate with.
Yeah, communicate with, but. I mean, you really can't worry about that stuff. Like, it just comes down to your own process. Like,
I mean, last year we drafted a tight end in the 3rd round, and Hunter Long out of Boston College. Yeah,
he's still there.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, and I had like no idea, but now like Hunter's one of like my best friends on the team. Like it's just how it goes, and like everybody in the locker room understands like
gotta compete every day.
Yeah, nothing's personal in any way, shape, or form. It's all just competition and going out and making the most of your opportunity.
Yeah.
So like interesting to me was that he said, I know, like, here's the thing, like, we can say you can have your opinion on, his route running ability, his blocking ability, but you can't help but say Gesicki's a class act. I mean, look at what he said about Hunter Long, man. He gave Hunter Long props there, and he even talked about how him and Hunter Long, he even said him and Hunter Long are one of his best friends. You look at between Hunter Long and Durham Smythe, clearly Gesicki is super tight with that tight end room. And honestly, man, again, here's the thing about Gesicki. Now, I know there's players out there that they say what they have to say in public, but Gesicki, he's always been the type of guy who he said what he feels, whether it's publicly or privately. We've seen him in his Zoom media availabilities and his media availabilities in general. He says what's on his mind. And this is a guy who he was absolutely one of the biggest fit supporters in that room. And he has now turned into, over the past 2 seasons, one of his biggest supporters in that room. And he continues to support the kid. And, again, I'm going to put stock into what he says a lot more than what people looking at an underthrow and reaching for bad press and bad news about Tua will say. Honestly, I would recommend all of you actually go watch that interview if you can. It's about an hour long. Now, I clipped out about 11 minutes of it and a lot of the good Gesicki chunks, but it's a pretty good conversation between Breneman and Nick Scott and Mike Gesicki. But honestly, again, like, you come away with him saying, he said it multiple times, not just with the franchise, about he doesn't like to create controversy, and you can say what you want about Gesicki, but he's a team player. And, I really hope his game takes the next step, but he also doesn't price himself out, because the more you get to know the player, the more he seems good for the locker room. You know what I mean? Like, Gesicki seems like an actual good beacon of positivity to have in the locker room. I mean, you talk about players who are out for individual stats and their own money. I mean, look at that. I mean, he took the 10.9, the tight end tag on the chin, and so far, and it looks like he ain't going to file no grievance, and he's got a good case. But he's like, you know what? Let me just get my money and let me go earn. And what did he say about when they asked him about the contract? Are you going to get that contract? Well, if I earn it. He's even got that mindset that I'm going to go out and I'm going to earn this contract this year. And, I do think his talent-wise, if everything comes together, he's just naturally going to price himself out of Miami. And it's going to be tough to go, because as the years have passed, to be honest with you, yes, I've got issues with, the route running and the blocking. Sure. I've got issues with certain, fundamental flaws with the player that I don't like, but the person, that man, the person is absolutely a phenomenal person. And honestly, he's a phenomenal player. Like, the thing is, let's be honest, if he became a more than competent blocker and he became a better, crisper route runner, sky would be the limit for that guy. He would automatically become a top 3, and he would be vying for top 3 in the league, tight end. So, again, when we critique certain parts of a player, or when we want to see a player do better in certain areas, it's not hating on the player. It's wanting to see that player reach his potential and be the best player he possibly can be. And Mike Gesicki's got a very, very high ceiling, man. Very high ceiling. So, interesting article from Marcel Louis-Jacques from a couple days ago over on ESPN. And what it was Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel clicks with players, creates a different vibe. When he entered the interview room Tuesday after voluntary organized team activities, Miami Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel resembled more of an ad for high-end athleisure than a football coach. a gray sweatshirt and matching sweatpants with yellow Yeezy sneakers, providing the only color to his outfit. As Miami enters phase 3 of offseason workouts, McDaniel has grown popular on social media for his fashion sense and among his players for his ability to connect with them. He was hired in February as an offensive guru, but his acumen appears to extend beyond X's and O's. He's a player's coach, said River Craycraft, who played last season for the San Francisco 49ers, where McDaniel was the offensive coordinator. He gets along with players, and he acts like he's one of us in the sense that you can talk to him. He's never going to big-time you or push you aside. That's what he's doing with everybody here, and that's why I love playing for Mike, because you know what you're going to get from him, just his honesty. The Dolphins began their offseason workout regimen in the first week of April, with McDaniel and his staff laying the foundation for their offensive system. Miami made it a priority to add playmakers this offseason, trading for receiver Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins signed Cedric Wilson, who showed big play ability with Dallas last season, and running backs Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert. So the Dolphins also signed Terron Armstead and Connor Williams as they switch to an attack that is expected to feature a lot of zone blocking, stretch running plays, and creativity. Now that the team has moved on from classroom and film study and drill work, it can begin to create a foundation to build on once training camp begins in July, McDaniel said. Realistically, you want guys committed to getting better, and you want to really establish how you're going to go about business, he said. We had 2 voluntary mini camps in our second OTA, and what was important to me was you don't skip steps in this business. So if we want to make strides and progress as an organization, as a football team, we have to position ourselves so when we come back for training camp, we're able to practice and operate at a high caliber level that fits our goals. Miami missed the playoffs for the 5th straight season in 2021, finishing with a 9-8 record. Brian Flores, who was the coach, was fired the day after the season ended on January 10th, with owner Stephen Ross citing communication issues as one of his deciding factors. McDaniel, who comes from an innovative coaching tree that has produced head coaches Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, and Matt LaFleur, was hired to fix an offense that ranked 25th in the NFL last season and to galvanize the locker room. So far, his players have raved about his work in both areas. McDaniel has kept things light but focused at practice, holding a putting contest during conditioning drills this offseason and implementing a Practice Player of the Day award, with perks that include donning an orange jersey and having full control over the next practice's music playlist. He's doing a great job of just bringing us all together, Nick Needham said. In team meetings, he'll say some jokes or funny stuff, show stuff on film. I think all that stuff is building the camaraderie for the team. Of course, camaraderie can only take a team so far without a proper system in place. There won't be tangible evidence of the effectiveness of McDaniel's schemes until the preseason begins. But the offensive players are excited about the revamped approach. I mean, it's a completely different offense. As you guys can probably tell from watching San Fran's film, Lee Meikenberg said, it's just different. New coaches, new style, new scheme. I'm trying to improve every day, trying to learn this offense the best that I can, said Needham. We feel the energy in here. It just feels like a different vibe this year for sure. You never know what happens, but we just want to keep it going. I love what he's doing here for sure. Listen, something I want to highlight here at the end. When Nick Needham says it just feels like a different vibe this year for sure. This is what I've said since they hired him, that this just feels different this time around. And now you've got the players coming out and basically echoing those sentiments. And, you know, when you talk about the vibe, the culture on this team, I mean, look at, you know, we all know, especially on the Dolphins, we have a very music-centric team. Man, it's crazy that such a small little reward like getting to choose the next practice playlist, I guarantee it's going to have people gunning for that orange jersey. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, obviously, Marcel's right. We're not going to see the effectiveness of this till the preseason. Even still then, you're not going to see it till the regular season when they start really opening up the playbook. And we're going to talk about it here, but the run game, I think that's something that's going to shock and awe a lot of people this year, right? I really do think it has the opportunity to do that. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the Palm Beach Post, and let's get into this run game. And is it lining up to be super explosive in 2022? So here's the biggest reason Miami's rush offense will improve in 2022. The Dolphins hired a head coach, Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator Frank Smith, and offensive line coach Matt Applebaum, who all have proven track records of run game expertise and success. This fires up Michael Dieter, the Dolphins' top candidate to start at center, the Dolphins' only candidate to start at center, if we're not counting Connor Williams. You can just tell talking with them that running the ball is something that's important to all three of them, Dieter said Wednesday. And it's cool. As an offensive lineman, that's always refreshing to hear. And the way they're so successful is the detail. McDaniel was the 49ers offensive coordinator and run game coordinator. Smith was the Chargers run game coordinator and offensive line coach. Applebaum was the offensive line coach at Boston College. The way they break it down to make it almost simple and how you can be effective and how you can run the ball effectively, Dieter said. It's cool to have three guys who are smart and care about the run and want to get it going no matter what. They can break it down and simplify it for you. It gives you a lot of confidence. Coaching is the number one reason for optimism that the Miami Dolphins run game will jump from putrid to powerful in 2022. They are committed. They have a plan. It's the same reason on that panel. That reason that's being given right there is why I'm confident in the offensive line looking better, and obviously why Tua is going to look better this year too. Remember? But also, but so is this new scheme. It's called a zone blocking offense. Well, it's a wide zone blocking offense. Think about those great Washington and Denver rushing attacks. It's all anchored by the wide zone play, a horizontal run play that attempts to stretch the defense enough to find a vertical running seam. The offensive linemen move together, and so they're less likely to be on their heels trying to hold up one-on-one against powerful bull and speed rushers. The whole O-line, it's a system where we can play with confidence and cut it loose and really not worry, Dieter said. Worry about winning, not worry about losing. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a ton of fun because we can play with confidence. Me and EM, we've talked about this multiple times up here and different places. This scheme, there's not going to be a lot of one-on-one, so it allows you to help guys, right? You can throw Terran Armstead on an island one-on-one and send help. This scheme offers you can put in a lot of help, especially when they're going to go in the condensed 20, 21, 22-man personnel looks. There's going to be a lot of ways to give a lot of help, right? Miami's youthful offensive linemen, particularly Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg, it says Austin Jackson, possible right tackle. It says Eichenberg, possible right tackle or left guard, struggled last season with confidence. They did not play as well as they're capable of. There are new vibes and a new mojo in Miami Gardens. See, even you go from different publications, right? We go from ESPN now Palm Beach Post, the different vibes, the different culture. Everyone is noticing it. And I told y'all from the get, this is going to be different. This is going to be different. And you can feel it. You can feel it. Dieter's description of Applebaum evokes the positivity of McDaniel. So far, he's been really cool, Dieter said. He's a detailed guy, an intense guy. But we're having a lot of fun. He's doing a really good job of keeping everything fun. He's been a great feature so far. We're learning a ton. It's going to be a lot of fun. He's a cool dude. He's fun to be around, but intense and a heck of a teacher. There's been nothing fun about being a Dolphins offensive lineman in recent years. That's true. Or watching them. But new running backs, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, will have a better chance. The energy is high, Dieter said. It's good. Everyone is excited to get better. We can see if everyone is doing their job the way they're supposed to when we can be explosive. And we can have a lot of fun doing it. And the way to be explosive is with confidence and everyone working together and everyone cutting it loose. It's exciting and high energy. The Dolphins could allow free agent Connor Williams to compete with Dieter at center, or they could add another veteran late in the free agent process. But Dieter is a top choice at the moment. Dieter has played guard and tackle, and it remains to be seen how his skill set translates to this zone rush scheme. But Dieter feels he's improved greatly since converting to center before last season. A lot better, Dieter says. Just taking a lot more reps, a lot more experience. Not where I want to be. I can be a lot better still. A lot of growth to have, but I'm definitely more confident than I was last time this year. Not that it was my first time doing it. It just had been a little while, but it's going good. So Dieter, his confidence is up, even though, they clearly have been cross-training Connor Williams. That's what I've been told that I've got actually a set of eyes at OTAs that's involved with the team. So I was told Connor Williams, I've been told Mike Gesicki looks real fast, real fast. And Tua looks legit. I've heard the arm zip is legitimately noticeable, not just from beat reporters. I've heard that from people that are there. So, hey, this running game is going to be explosive. I'm going to tell you, we're going to keep going into this because this scheme, the personnel, and the coaching, man, it's all going to come together. It's all going to come together, and it's going to be a combustible element. All right. So this is what Barry Jackson, sticking with the run game. Mostert, this article, is Mostert analysts explain Dolphins' new running scheme. And this is a 6-pack of Miami Dolphin notes, and this is what came out on Friday. New running backs Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds have experience in Mike McDaniel's wide zone rushing attack. For those wishing to understand how it works, Mostert explains the system this way. It's wide zone from a typical run screen, but we do a lot of inside zone, Mostert said. There's several different ways that we can attack the defense. When it comes to wide zone reads and stuff like that, you really have to just make your mark, and that's putting your foot in the ground and getting upfield. You can't just be a running back in the league. You have to also understand the blocking scheme. And if a lot of running backs tell you differently, then that's foolish on their part. With this offense, you definitely have to understand the blocking scheme and what the defensive front is and how the linebackers overplay the run and how you can counterbalance that. So basically, he's basically saying you got to know blocking assignments so that way when you can see how the defense is lined up, you can understand where the holes are going to be and you can anticipate holes and you can anticipate open gaps before they come just based on what you're seeing pre-snap, right? That's what he's basically saying. So Mosert's showing the intelligence there. Love it. He's saying you got to have an IQ. You just can't get the ball and run. Got to know where you're going with the football. Former ESPN fantasy analyst Casey Joyner, a diligent tape evaluator who operates the website thefootballscientist.com, emailed some insight about what Dolphin fans can expect with McDaniel's running game. San Francisco may have the most complex run blocking scheme in the NFL. No team does a better job of incorporating elements to make one type of run play look like another. False keys, baby. Let's go! One example is when the 49ers run an inside zone play but toss the ball to the running back rather than hand it off. The toss sells the idea that the play is going outside and generates a defensive reaction that oftentimes helps give the offense an edge. San Francisco will also use all manner of blockers for their counters and power rushes. Most teams stick with a reasonable number of pullers and lead blockers for these plays, but the Niners will have every lineman, fullback, H-backs, and even motion receivers pull or lead on these plays. Jordan told me that the one key for the Dolphins will be to get their running backs up to speed on reading defenses, especially on zone plays, as the system only works if you have backs capable of taking advantage of the blocking opportunities the zone scheme provides, which is what Mostert was just telling us, right? McDaniel is apt to bring all of these elements to the Miami offense, so it'll also be imperative for their blockers to get up to speed, as few systems in the NFL will ask more of its run blockers than the McDaniel system, assuming he mimics the 49ers setup. Oh boy, this is going to be real exciting. Mostert doesn't expect his knee injury to his cartilage in last season's 49ers opener will affect his ability to cut or impact his elite speed or acceleration. Me and Mr. Dan Cooper had a week of conversation specifically on my position and everything like that, Mostert said. He said, I've had offensive linemen have the same injury, and their position is a little more demanding as far as technique based. That's where it gets real tricky. I've seen quarterbacks have the same injury and have the same operation. I believe Xavier Howard was the one that got an operation done by Dr. Cooper, and look how he turned out. He's an all-pro and Pro Bowl caliber player. For him to come back and the mindset that he had, it's definitely one of those things that I know that I can come in, get this rehab and attack the rehab, get the surgery, and be 120% rather than 110. Mostert observed Tuesday's OTA session and expects to be ready for the regular season opener. New fullback Alec Ingold, one of my favorite signings of the offseason, love it, on what it's going to be like blocking for Mostert and Edmonds. Absolutely blazing speed. Everyone's going to be running. Shoot, the entire offense is going to be running. Remember, Taron Armstead can run like a 4.740. And I know there's going to be a lot of conditioning work when you get into going to training camp and OTAs, which is a key why a guy like J.C. Treader, if he comes here, you're going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to practice. You're just going to. Because their conditioning will not get up to par. let alone building that chemistry and camaraderie with the offensive line and the offense you're going to need to. Once they break through the second level and they can take off like that, and you can feel that speed, all of a sudden you have the offensive line moving, the wide receivers, everyone is running downfield with those guys. And the other thing too, when you talk about that, right? Offensive linemen and defensive and running backs reading defenses and how we attack and what we ask for out of our run blockers, just to get caught up in our scheme and what we're going to be asking of our blockers, JC Treader would have to put a lot of work in this offseason, which is another reason why I don't know if he's coming here. So the amount of speed that they bring to an offense, that's exciting, just to be able to chase those guys downfield after those explosive plays that they're obviously capable of making. Ingold continues to work his way back from a Week 10 ACL injury last season when he played for the Raiders. One thing that's clear about McDaniel's running backs, they must be versatile. New Dolphins receiver Trent Sherfield, who played with the new Dolphins running back Chase Edmonds for 2 seasons in Arizona, described Edmonds as a wide receiver running back guy that can really run routes, really has great hands. He's not your typical running back. He's not one-dimensional whatsoever. Very, very dependable. Very, very high IQ when it comes to learning plays and just scouting the defense. The Dolphins' backfield seems set with Edmonds, Mostert, Sony Michel, and either Myles Gaskin or Salvon Ahmed. Edmonds mentioned McDaniel as one of the reasons he chose Miami. Cornerback and special teams ace Keon Crossan, who played very little defensively for the Giants last season, cited defensive coordinator Josh Boyer as the primary reason he chose Miami. Josh Boyer is a great coach. He drafted me when I was in New England and actually developed me in my rookie year. He's a great guy, a really good coach. That was my reasoning for choosing Miami. Josh Boyer. He gets the best out of his players, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. Man, that is high praise for Josh Boyer. And, I mean, I hope you're right, because we need to up the snap count this year of Jalen Phillips. Let's get the best out of Jalen Phillips. So that is very high praise from Keon Crossan. But this running game, guys, in 2022, it looks set up to just blow the socks off of everyone. I can't wait to see this running game in action. It looks like it's going to be something. It really does, man. So, man, exciting stuff. Exciting stuff with this running. And it's just going to make things easier for the receivers and Tua Tagovailoa when that running game takes off. Omar Kelly had an interesting article about Noah Igbinoghene. He said the talent level has never been in question. The blend of speed and athleticism is what motivated the Miami Dolphins to select Noah Igbinoghene as their final of 3 first-round picks, the 30th player selected in the 2020 NFL Draft. His work ethic is supposedly stellar. People who have worked with him have raved about it since his days at Auburn. Unfortunately, Igbinoghene wasn't able to turn that talent and work ethic into reliable play in his first 2 NFL seasons. And when you're a first-round pick, the bar is set high. So those who fall short of contributing on a consistent basis as a high-level asset tend to fall into the potential bust category. That's the label Igbinoghene is flirting with heading into his 3rd NFL training camp. And it's not denial about it or his rough start. It's an everyday process, so just keep going every single day and get better, said Noah Igbinoghene, who started 3 of 27 games he's played the last 2 seasons. That's really my main focus. If I keep working, it's going to turn out in my favor. Igbinoghene spent most of his young career in Brian Flores' doghouse, but with the now fired head coach gone, he's been given a fresh start. This spring, Igbinoghene not only benefits from the clean slate provided to him by his new position coaches, Sam Addison and Patrick Surtain, 2 former standouts for the Dolphins also. He's also benefiting from the absence of Xavier Howard and Byron Jones during phase 2 of OTAs. Those Dolphin veteran starters either aren't healthy enough to practice this spring or have decided to skip the voluntary workouts. Howard has traditionally worked with his own trainers during the offseason, and Jones is rehabbing a leg injury he had surgically operated this offseason, which was to guarantee his money so he wouldn't move off from J.C. Jackson. Thanks, Byron. Their absence creates an opportunity for Noah Igbinoghene, Nick Needham, and a host of other young quarterbacks like Trill Williams and Quincy Wilson, who get to line up against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle during Miami's 11-11 sessions and on 7-on-7 work, the sessions where offensive players line up against defenders. If you believe in the adage that iron sharpens iron towards training, facing off against a 6-time Pro Bowler like Hill and Waddle, the receiver who just set an NFL rookie record for receptions in 2021, should be beneficial from a developmental standpoint. you're like, damn, he's fast on film. But then when you really get out in front of him, he's like, oh man, those two definitely have a different speed. Needham said, referring to Hill and Waddle's speed, which has been clocked in the 22-mile-per-hour range during practices and games. It's going to be great this year just to work versus that every day, because it's like nobody's going to be faster than these two. If we win versus them, we should win a lot. Last time Noah Igbinoghene got to showcase himself with the Dolphins first team defense, things didn't go so well. During the 2 weeks Howard, the team's Pro Bowl cornerback, was playing hardball with the franchise and sitting out practices while the team in the camp negotiated a restructured contract, the Dolphins gave Igbinoghene extensive run with the starters, and we all remember how that went. But the Howardless secondary was consistently getting carved up by quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and his backups, and it seemed as if Noah Igbinoghene was the main course. His struggles got so bad that midway through the second week of practice, he was demoted from first team to third team defense. Igbinoghene sparingly played on defense last season despite injuries to members of the secondary that were nursing them throughout the year. There were even times players called up from the practice squad who played ahead of him. The hope is that's bad, man. See, that's red flag. Special teams and people getting called up from practice squad and playing ahead of you, those are major red flags. The hope is that the work and coaching he's receiving now will help him become more technically sound as a cornerback, but only time and past his defenders will tell us how that venture is going. Noah has a high motor, super competitive, Needham said. Every day he's bringing it, no matter what. If it's a little drill, like I have to do with a little receiver drill, he's going to go full speed. You have nothing but to respect that. I respect his game. He's getting more comfortable out there. The big question is whether comfortable Igbinoghene will be a productive one, or the Dolphins need to toss him to the wasted draft pick pile. Man, it's tough out here for Noah, man. Expectations came with the 30th overall pick, and quite frankly, he hasn't lived up to them even closely, even remotely. So this is going to be, we all think, Tua and Austin Jackson and these other third-year guys, guys even some in their second year, like Eichenberg, it's a prove-it year. He might have the biggest of them all when it's all said and done. A question I want to pose to you is a question that Bleacher Report said, guys. Dolphins rookies who will make an instant impact in 2022. I want you guys right now in the comment section, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching after, leave 3 players you think are going to have an instant impact from this draft/undrafted free agent class. I'm going to go with Channing Tindall, Eric Azukama, and I'm going to go with Verone McKinley. And this is what Bleacher Report had to say. The Dolphins made plenty of moves during the NFL offseason, but most of them involved bringing in veteran players to fill roster holes. Miami mortgaged most of its NFL draft picks to bring in Tyreek Hill, spent a hefty chunk of money in free agency to improve other spots. The Dolphins' rookie class is small and headlined by a third-round pick, but some of those players can still make an impact in some capacity during the 2022 season. Linebacker was one of the largest holes left on the roster, and the Dolphins filled that by landing Channing Tindall and Cameron Good in that draft. Tindall and Good have the clearest path to playing time based on the players in front of them at the position. 4th-round pick Eric Azukama could break through at some point, while 7th-round pick Skylar Thompson needs a miracle to reach the field this season. So their first guy is Channing Tindall. Miami's first selection of the draft was used on the 9th Georgia player selected. Tindall was the 7th player from Georgia's historic defensive unit to be chosen. He could have a larger impact than the first players chosen from other SEC schools. And then it says, he should compete for snaps on a linebacker depth chart that is thin once you get past the projected starters, which I agree with. And, he will compete for snaps on the inside behind Jerome Baker and Atlanta Roberts. As of now, the second layer of the defense is the weakest on paper on the Dolphins roster. The Dolphins need Tindall to perform more like a 5-year veteran than a rookie. Their number 2 is Cameron Good. Now, I don't agree with this because I think Cameron Good is just purely in pass rush situations. But even still, Melvin Ingram, great pass rusher. Jalen Phillips, great pass rusher. AVG, great pass rusher. Noah Igbinoghene, you're not taking him off on pass rushing situations. So Cameron Good's going to get a limited amount of pass rushing snaps. He's not going to get coverage snaps, and he's not good against the run. So that's why I think Eric Azukama, even though he's behind people, I think he could have a bigger his 200 or 300 yards or 400 yards as a rookie will be more than what Cameron Good puts in, I think, especially in the red zone. Eric Ezukuma he can really contribute in the red zone. So they said Cameron Good's path to potential playing time was made more difficult by the Dolphins signing of Melvin Ingram. Dolphins added Ingram to aid their rush off the edge, which is one of it's Good's best quality, not one of, it's his best. He had 20.5 sacks over 5 seasons at Cali. He had 6.5 last season. That was his second best single season high. The Ingram signing does not mean Good's path to the field is completely blocked, but it does make playing time harder for the 6th-round pick. Yeah, I don't know. And then this one I do agree with because, Eric Rowe, you best be worried because Verone McKinley is coming for your spot, baby. It's hard to make a case for Eric Ezukuma or Skylar Thompson to challenge significant playing time right away. Well, have you watched the Dolphins, bro? Because receiver injuries are what we live for. Ezukuma could move up to 3rd or 4th on the wide receiver depth chart, but his impact will be smaller than any other rookie wide receivers because Tyreek Hill and Waddle will earn the majority of the targets. Telling you, watch Eric Ezukuma when he gets in the red zone. Thompson needs a lot to go in his favor just to make the roster behind Tua and Teddy. Some of the undrafted free agents Miami signed, like Verone McKinley, may have better paths to playing time to shine in training camp. Verone McKinley could turn into a solid depth piece. He's making his team. I'm telling you right now, out of the UDFAs, McKinley, Dyche, Zaquandre White have the best chances to make the team. Safety Verone McKinley could turn into a solid depth piece at the position. He was a ball hawk and a solid tackler at Oregon. McKinley recorded 77 tackles and 6 interceptions in his final season with the Ducks. I was a bit surprised to see him go undrafted. I agree. I had him like a 4th-round draft, the 4th-round grade on him. McKinley might turn into one of the pleasant surprises of training camp, and he could challenge for a game day roster spot if he displays the same qualities while he did at Oregon. Man, McKinley's making the roster. I'm telling you right now. You better be worried. You better be worried, Mr. Rowe, because he's coming for your spot. I'm telling you right now. So, who are your guys 3 that you would have make? Personally, again, mine, the 3 UDFA or draft picks that I think will have an instant impact: Channing Tindall, Eric Ezukuma, and I'll take Verone McKinley as well. Let me know who you guys think are going to have the impact when we talk about 3 players. And then finally, guys, for y'all, a little interesting stat, I thought, because we were bigging him up, a couple of days ago. Melvin Ingram, he was one of 5 edge rushers last season to have 75-plus grades as both a run defender and a pass rusher. So for those of you who put a lot of stock in the PFF grades, you guys know how I do. I only put stock in them if it match my eye test. The grade don't match my eye test, I don't put stock into it. So there you go. I've told all of y'all how good of a run defender this guy is. Everyone sleeps on how good of a run defender is. Everyone just sees his pass rush ability and automatically locks him in like that. I'm telling you, he's much more than that. He is much, much more than that. All right, guys, here's the deal. OTAs, they start up back tomorrow and Tuesday, so I'll be back tomorrow and Tuesday for you. Wednesday night, guys, this big show that I've been telling y'all about, both parties are agreed upon the coming on. So the initial date we've locked in is this Wednesday. And I will let y'all know. I'm going to try and have it locked in and have an answer for you guys tomorrow, because I'm probably going to launch my rebrand with this show. This show is going to be huge. It's something the community needs right now. I'm going to be bringing it to y'all. So I've got the parties involved to agree. Now we're just locking in the date. It looks like Wednesday. Y'all might have to have me on while you got the Heat game muted. All right, because it's potentially going to be a huge, huge show. Or we might go before the Heat game. Maybe we go before the Heat game. But, man, Wednesday is looking like it's going to be a huge, 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 huge day for the community. So, man, stay tuned, because I'm going to let y'all know. We're going to try and lock it in tomorrow so we can do it on Wednesday. And then if it changes, if the date changes, I'll keep y'all updated. But a huge show coming to y'all, guys. You guys are going to love this, what I got for y'all. But, guys, until tomorrow when I'm back to cover OTAs, hope all y'all have a fantastic day. If you're in Canada, enjoy your Sunday, not having to wake up for work tomorrow. Listen, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Over 550 of you came into the room today. Still over 514 of you in the room right now. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're under 100 away to hitting 8,000. Let's get there and get to 10K before the season starts. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, stay happy, healthy, safe, and blessed. Fins up, baby, all day, every day.